Hey everybody, hope you're having an awesome day. So I have been working on this tester's weirdo model and I've been posting progress of this on my Instagram. I want to do a skull and crossbones on the back of his leather jacket. So I have kind of drawn up my own little skull and crossbone template. I'm going to try and build a little stencil. Let's go check it out, see if it works. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I've got my little skeleton drawn out. This was a scrap piece of paper off my printer. I have taken some lead and just scribbled all over the back of this. I am now going to place this. I'm going to use this blue tape as my stencil. I'm on my cutting mat, so I think I can just peel the blue tape off of here, no problem. I'm going to take this. I might take this little guy down just so it doesn't move on me while what I'm going to try and do is transfer this skeleton onto this little stencil. Let's see if it works. To transfer it, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take a mechanical pencil and I'm just going to press fairly hard on this to transfer that onto the blue tape. Let's do that. Okay, so you can see it's lightly on there, but that's enough for me to be able to cut this. I may kind of go back over and just kind of darken that up just a little bit. Cool, that looks great. Now, take an X-Acto knife and let's cut this thing out. Okay, now I'm going to cut out the skeleton. I'm going to keep the eyeballs and I'm going to keep the nose, and this will be negative. So now what I want to do is, let's slide this camera up, take a look at our guy here. Okay, so I'm going to peel this off carefully. I don't want to rip it. Okay, slide this over here really quick just so you can see this. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it, center of his back, somewhere right in there. It might, looks like it can move over to the right just a little bit, so let's try that. Now I'm going to take these eyeballs. Oh, sorry, I bumped the camera with my hat. Alright, got that eyeball. Let's go, it was kind of about here. Grab this eyeball. Probably more eye socket, right? Put that about there. That looks cool. And then grab the nose piece here. That on there. Okay. So that looks pretty good. So I've got my white paint. I've got an old brush. It's kind of jacked up, but that's just perfect because I am going to literally just take this and kind of stipple. I actually want to get that less watery, so I just ran it on the towel really quick. That's looking pretty cool. I think that's gonna work. Here's the deal. It's kind of dry and I'm really impatient. I hate waiting, so I'm going to just peel this off and let's see what it looks like. It's just a little tacky, so. Oh man, that looks cool. Okay. Now, as you can see, I got a little bit of bleed over and some of that stuff, but that's okay. So I'm just taking a wet brush. I'm just curious if it's still wet enough that I can even kind of take some of that off. Yeah, check that out. Just because it's still a little bit, it's not completely dry, I can almost re-sculpt that. That looks good. Maybe up here in the eye. Yeah, just wet it down. It's almost like letting me take that off. I feel like over here on the side of the skull, I got a little too much. But because it's like on a leather jacket, it's okay if there's some imperfections. It's actually kind of cool. I kind of like it that way. And tell you what, while that dries a little bit more, I just wanted to show you the rest of this paint job. I had a really good time with this. In the red, I actually sprayed the bike gold first, and then I got this clear translucent red that's meant for like plastic and glass, but it actually gave this really cool metallic sheen. The teeth, if you check out my Instagram, the teeth were actually solid plastic and it looked really dorky. So I actually drew teeth lines and then took an X-Acto knife and cut those out. It was kind of a pain. I had to resand everything, but I have like a little wash of some yellows on there and blacks and browns. Actually, I think I used brown shoe polish. Some little yellow there. Same thing on this side. The hat, I actually had a old tank, and I've got some decals there, so that little Maltese cross is kind of cool. The t-shirt here, I don't know if you can see it super well, but what I ended up doing was I took an X-Acto knife and I scored it and then made little ribs, so I actually had like the ribbed t-shirt. The jeans, just blue paint, and then did the cuff. It's turned out really cool. Oh, the seat's kind of cool. I actually just took some hanging wire, wrapped it around a chopstick so it had some coils, and I added these little springs to the seat. They weren't there. And then I went and just went online and found a California license plate that said Man Cave, and I made a really small little decal. The plate on the back of this was actually a little bit wider, so I just cut it off with an X-Acto knife to fit the kind of format of the California license plate. So yeah, it's looking pretty cool. Let's see how this thing's drying up. Alright, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry completely. Then I'm going to come back, take the X-Acto knife, and let's do some little scratching and weathering on it like he's been wearing this jacket for years. Let's let this dry. Alright, this is looking pretty good. I think I'm going to go ahead and try and get some scratches on here. I just want it to look kind of like an old leather jacket that's been worn, so I'm literally just taking the tip of a blade and just gonna kind of pick at it. Alright, I think that looks pretty cool. I'm going to call that good. So there's a quick tutorial on how to make your own little stencils and paint that up in just a short amount of time. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, it's a great day to be a toy nerd. Go make some cool stuff.